Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is something that I call show and tell. This is a newer video. I have never done a video like this before. It's kind of like a Q&A, like questions and answers, but show and tell form. So instead of me answering questions by just like sitting here and talking for a long period of time, I'm going to show you the things that you asked about. I feel like maybe I didn't explain myself the best because I did still get questions that are just like questions, not show and tell questions. So I might answer them, I might not. We'll see where we are for time. I did get a lot of questions, so I will go through as many as possible. If you are new to my channel and you like crocheting, knitting, yarn, thrifting, 80s, and this general vibe, then why not hit the subscribe button? If you subscribe to my channel, then you will be up to date with all of my projects and newest videos. I think what's gonna happen is I think I might just go through all of the 8 questions and then cut around them so they're all in their categories, because I have a lot of crocheting questions, a lot of Stranger Things questions, and a lot of camper questions. And then there's obviously other questions mixed in there, but those are like the top 3 that I got a lot of questions about. But I think I'm just gonna read through all the questions, and then in editing, I will edit all those around, so then that way all the information for each category is like together. Does that make sense? What is your all-time favorite crochet piece you've made? One of my favorite crochet projects is obviously the Fox cardigan from Project Hail Mary. I did the crochet version. I love this cardigan so much, and I tried my best to wear it as much as possible, but it is hot outside now. I have to wait for the fall. But I'm a fall person anyway, so I'd be waiting for the fall regardless if I had to wear this or not. And then my other favorite, all-time favorite, is this sweater here. This is the wavy sweater. Somewhat have a pattern for this, but this is just the ripple stitch. That is it. And I just went between 3 colors. So 3 colors there. This here is my grandfather clock that I crocheted, and it does tell time. This is the back of it. I did not weave in any ends because I didn't think I had to. And then this thing here is what the clock is attached to. This clock is designed after a 1970s crochet pattern. Changed it up to make it look more like the Stranger Things clock in Stranger Things season 4. I would absolutely love a real one day, but this will have to do, and I really like this. First crochet sweater and what you learned from making it. This is my first crochet sweater, cardigan, same thing, that I have ever made, which I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I mean, it was a good idea. It looks really cute. It never really fit me exactly how I wanted it to fit me. First cardigan, first sweater I've ever crocheted. I'm still kind of like on a learning curve. You know, what I would do now is completely different than what I would do back then. This one here I did make in 2021. Almost 5 years since I've made this. So some things that I learned from it. This is the very first project that I ever did ribbing to. Back then I wasn't doing anything with buttons, so I would have, you know, liked to put some buttons on here. I did learn the ribbing for like the cuffs. I also feel like with the neck part, I could have done a better job because, well, I think I redid this at one point. I think this was one of my fixing projects videos. Redid the ribbing for this because the neck was like too close and it was very annoying. Did I crochet these together? Yes, I did crochet them together, or a slip stitch together. If I were to redo this, I would be doing the join as you go border in the black. I think that would have made it look so much better. This being my first project, I think I did really well, and I have learned a lot since making this. Can you talk about the sardines bag? It's the first video of yours I came across. What would you change about it? Do you use it often? I don't use it as often as I wish I did, mainly because I hate these things. Like, I really tried to like sew it down. It just didn't really work out. I think I should have went with just round ones. And then this strap, although it is adorable, didn't really work with what I wanted to, because every time I would wear it, it would start doing like this. So I think if I had something round, it wouldn't cause that. Love to redo the handles maybe in a different material. I did actually use it for a little bit, but the one thing that I always wanted to change, and I don't even know why I didn't do it at the time. I probably had some excuse. I really wish that I had reinforced the front flap. I really don't know why I didn't do it. Maybe it just didn't feel like sewing it. I still love the look of it, but I go through bags so often that I think I used it for a little bit, and then I made another bag, and then I started using that bag, and then I made another bag, and then you get where I mean. Like, every time I make a new bag, I kind of switch to that one. The one thing that I do love about it, and that it was my first time ever doing, was these letters with the shadow Oh my goodness. This is the first time I ever did lettering like this, and I have been obsessed with it ever since. Every time I have to do something with lettering in it, this is what I do now. And I think it looks so good, and I did the same thing with the I'm Coming to the Cottage bag. I just love this type of lettering so much. I just love looking at this. Like, even though I don't use it a lot, I don't really like keep it in a bag or like put it away. I kind of keep it out so I can kind of see it because it is a beautiful work of art. How do you store your makes, especially the ones you wear or have out and ready to wear? Right here underneath my Stranger Things collection is where I keep all of my sweaters that I may want to wear. I think I have to maybe organize this a little bit better because now that it is almost summer and it's getting warm out, I probably need to find all of my short sleeve crochet projects and then have them here, and then probably keep like some of my favorites here as well so I can always like look at them so I don't forget about them. This is how I store my crochet projects in the house. I do store my crochet projects different in the camper. Now, how I store my yarn for the off season is I actually put them in totes. So these are all the projects that are not for the season. Probably should go through here a little bit more. But yeah, I just keep them in totes in the camper, and they've been in the camper for 2 years now and nothing has happened to them. They're fine. Also, solid totes, not clear totes, because I don't want sunlight coming in here, even though my windows are always shut in here. I don't want sunlight coming in here and damaging the items, like discoloring the colors. I keep them sealed in not clear tubs. I want a crochet hook tour. So this is my crochet hook collection. Basically like my furls hooks, back when I was really into furls hooks before my BWA hooks, which we will talk about in a minute. And then I also have these two, but they just won't fit. These ones I don't use as much anymore. They are very pretty though. I actually really do like the furls, the stainless steel metal. They are very heavy. I like a heavier crochet hook. I think the only reason why I stopped using furls as much is because they have an inline hook, and you know that I love a tapered hook. Let's go over my BWA hooks. So the first one I got was this one here. It's really pretty. It's this brown resin and wood. I just find that these ones are just a little too short for me. I think that this one would be more of like a travel one. So if I were to go traveling somewhere, I probably would take this with me because it is smaller and it doesn't take up too much space. This one here, they actually sent me orange resin with wood, and I did a review video about it. Again, favorite hooks. I love them so much. They sent me this one here. This one I call my Golden Girl, because at the time I got this, I was obsessed with Golden Girls and I was watching it every single day. And I just think this looks so 80s to me. Like, you know, like that 80s furniture. And the latest one, which is this one here, I did purchase this one. It is resin with dried flowers in it. Like, oh my goodness, it is so gorgeous. I love this one so much. You get a bunch of hooks. They range from a size 3 to a 7. So it's like 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, all the way up to 7. And so this is what it looks like. And then you unscrew this, and you take it out. And so like that's what it kind of looks like. What's also great about these is that you can fix them if you need to. For me, I do a lot of crocheting. What will happen is if I'm crocheting a lot, or if I'm using like a certain type of yarn, so my hook will be a little bit wiggly, and all I do is I just come in here and I just pinch these back. I just pinch them back to shape. They also do sell these guys here as well now. So you can buy the mini pack, and they go down to a 0.5. Owners, Tracy and Bruce, are such lovely people, and I am so glad that I found their shop, because these are my favorite crochet hooks. And also, did I mention they're tapered? Makes them even better. What project have you fixed the most amount of times and why? Love this series you do. So if you're not familiar, I do this series where I fix old crochet projects, and it's not like they needed fixing at the time, but because my skills have advanced, you know what, this technique would actually be better for this sweater, because I never wore the sweater because of how like uncomfortable or whatever it was. Now I will go back to that old project and make those changes. I remember when I made this, I made it a little bit too small. So I think last year when I did fixing my crochet projects, I added a panel on the side like right here to give me a little bit more room. I think in my head I was like, oh, you should go a little bit smaller, and then I did, but I went too small and it was just a little too tight for my liking. So last year when I redid it, I redid the collar. I had to redo the ribbing at the bottom. I remember it being a little too short as well. The way I made this, I start from the bottom up. I couldn't really add length to the bottom. So I ended up just making the ribbing extra long. Like I don't do ribbing this long ever. So I redid the ribbing on this, added a panel on both sides, and redid the collar. This is the car that I learned how to drive in. It is a 1980 something Chevy Caprice. And I wanted it to be like one of those kid sweaters where you have like the image in the front and then you have the image in the back. I would have to say that this is probably the most fixing I've ever done to a project is this sweater. Any advice for beginner colorwork / tapestry crochet? Yarn bobbins. I have to say that is probably the best advice. Otherwise, you're going to have like a bunch of balls of yarn all over the place. And sometimes when you bring your yarn across, you'll end up with it just being kind of like a mess. I have an example. This was my very first tapestry project. Somebody said that yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of Stranger Things season 4 airing. I cannot believe it's been 4 years since season 4. This was my very first tapestry project. This is before I knew about yarn bobbins. This is the inside. Yeah, okay, see? Yarn bobbins are a game changer and I will show you what they are. I'm now going to show you my yarn bobbin collection. I still have a bunch of stuff on them. I have a lot of different yarn bobbins. These ones I thrifted. I also have these ones I thrifted. These ones, I can't remember if I thrifted these or my sister thrifted them for me. These are regular ones that you can still buy to this day. You can get them at either your local yarn shop, on Amazon, and at Michael's. The larger versions of these ones, so they still sell these ones. A lot of these I did thrift, so look in your local thrift stores in the like yarn crafting section. That's where I get most of mine. These ones are still available. I'm pretty sure I bought mine at Michael's. I've also bought a few at my local yarn store, Central Pearl. So they are out there and they make tapestry crocheting so much easier. I'll show you a newer example, the fox cardigan. So this is the type of inside that I do now for my tapestry projects. There are a few spots where I did carry over the yarn, but for the most part, it is not crazy like the Stranger Things one. You see how nice and neat and clean this is because I had a yarn bobbin for pretty much every piece. Like this orange here had its own yarn bobbin, this orange had its own yarn bobbin, this one had its own yarn bobbin. It kept everything nice and neat and tidy, even though sometimes yarn bobbins get a little hectic when you have like 20 going on. At the end, your project will look a lot more polished and nicer. Another thing that would be really good for tapestry is either having Procreate or some type of app or some type of program where you can put your image in there and then you can highlight or mark off each row that you do so that way you don't get confused where you are. My sister loves Stitch Fiddle. She uses it all the time. I tried, but personally, I just like my Procreate because normally I just come up with my own designs anyways. It's easier for me. I don't know. It just is. What is your favorite video you have made so far and why? I love all the projects that I make, but I think at the moment I'm probably going to have to say the Project Hail Mary Fox cardigan. I think I really like that one mainly because a lot of other people were also making the cardigan at the same time, and people who don't knit and only wanted to crochet it kind of were feeling left out because there wasn't a crochet pattern. I hopefully explained it well in all the videos that I've done and the YouTube video that it's just a grid, and a grid is just a bunch of squares. Instead of each square equaling one knit stitch, I did it 1 square equals 1 single crochet, and I just followed the grid. I get messages from people saying that I inspired them to do the crochet version. They didn't think that they could do it, and they did it. They all look so good. And I'm like, why do they have mine? I'm like, oh wait, that isn't mine, that's theirs. But yeah, I think I really like that one because I feel like I inspired other people to also crochet it. What is something that you've wanted to crochet or knit but haven't had the time to? There is this one cardigan that I am obsessed with, and the second that she put out this pattern, I bought it and I have not made it yet, and I'm very disappointed in myself that I have not made it yet. It is the Monarch Butterfly Cardigan and Sweater Crochet Pattern. I bought this pattern and I have wanted to do it for so long, but my problem is that I see something else or I get an idea from something and then I just move right into that and I kind of forget about the patterns that I bought. So this is one that I have been wanting to do for so long, and I think I'm gonna do it in the fall time, or maybe if I have nothing to do this summer, I'll start it. And I wanna do it like as a monarch butterfly, so like the browns and the oranges. I want this sweater so much. It is so gosh darn cute. I'd love to know more about your thoughts on amigurumi. I know you made the Steve from Stranger Things, but is there any other characters you'd like to make one day? Characters in general, just not from Stranger Things. For me personally, I just don't do amigurumi because I don't need a bunch of dolls. I say that, and now that I collect Care Bears. That's the only thing I can think about it for amigurumi, is just I'd be stuck with a bunch of dolls and I don't know what to do with dolls. I would like to make every character from Stranger Things and maybe one day have a shelf and just have them all up there. I think that would be neat because I would love to do the Demogorgon and 11, and I know there's not a Joyce one, but I feel like I could figure it out. So I would like to maybe eventually do more of that because I do have the book and I have the kit. It's just amigurumi in general, I don't really have uses for them. I feel bad for saying that, but I would rather make things that are more useful in my life, like sweaters and shirts and wearables and hats and stuff like that, because I think I would get more use out of them. Also, the Steve doll took me forever, and it put me off of doing amigurumi. I think it's really cute. I love seeing other people make it. Personally, for me, I'm just not a fan at making them. You mentioned you started learning with Tunisian crochet. Do you have some Tunisian crochet projects to show? When I first started crocheting, I think I did a lot of like scarves or random squares. Did make a crochet hat. I wonder if it's in that bucket. This bucket, my Oma gave me, and it was full of yarn, and I ended up doing a project with some squares that she had in here. And I keep this closed because it still smells like her house. Nice and sealed in here, so if I ever want to smell her house, it's in this bucket. Weird, but it is what it is. Anyways, I do have one project in here. That's why I brought it out, because I remember I had it in here. So this is some type of hat that I tried to make, and it is Tunisian crochet. And I think the whole idea of the hat was supposed to go like this, tied in a knot, and I don't know, like a hooded hat. I think that was my vision. Mind you, I did not use a Tunisian crochet hook for this, so I could only ever make anything that was this long. And again, the hook was only like this big, so I don't know how I achieved some of the stuff that I achieved. But this was one of the first things I ever made. It was a hat. And I think I made this in like 2007, 2008. That's that. Most challenging stitch you've done, and do you feel like it's worth it for the outcome? The linen stitch. Not that it's like a very difficult stitch, but it takes so long to do, and I don't like it, and I don't ever want to do it again. It looks okay, but I would prefer something else. I despise the linen stitch. And you know what's funny is I did 2 projects with the linen stitch. Takes forever, and it does this weird thing where it starts off wide, and then as you go up, it kind of gets a little bit shorter, which is really annoying because I remember doing this and I had to redo it again because I made it the perfect length at the bottom, but then it kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter as I went up. This is the Max top from Stranger Things that I crocheted. I think I'd love to make like a knitted version of this. This is just a little too heavy for summer, and because of what it's made out of, it's kind of a little see-through, so I'd have to wear a shirt underneath it. But I would love to take apart the sleeves and make a long sleeve version of it, because I think I would wear the long sleeve version of this a lot more than this right now. Can we see your project journals? These are the only project journals I've ever had. This is my first one. I think I got it at the Dollarama because I just liked the wood grain. All it just says is how long it took me to make, what yarn I used, what hook I used, and any additional notes. I ended up using it, I think, until like May of 2024. And then that is when I got this one here. It is called the Daily Stitch Creative Planner for Yarn Enthusiasts. And this was made by Stephanie from Central Pearl. I believe she still has this available. You have like a project tracker in the front, and then you have all these pages that you can write down your project name, the size you're doing, the date started, date finished, the pattern, who designed it, your hooks and needles, the yarn you've used, all your tools, and like extra notes and stuff like that. And then in the book as well, there is monthly spreads. It does come with stickers, so you can put the month in. It's just blank, so then you just fill in the dates and everything. And at the time, I was just kind of putting in what I was working on that day, and then it gives you the week. So again, you can write everything in. You don't have to buy it in January. You can buy this book any time of the year you want. Monthly wrap up, so like how many projects you started, how many you finished. And then at the very end of the book, there is a project review, so you can write down the project that you made. You can give it a rating with stars and some notes about the project. And at the very end of the book, there are some blank pages. Well, they have like the bullet points on it, so you can like take notes. I forgot I was writing down what movies I was watching while I crocheted. Probably put that in my new book. Now, I did really like it, but personally, I prefer like a book like this where I can keep all of my project and all of my notes for my projects and my reviews of the projects all like in the same spot. I'll fix his little beak later. I bought this at Michael's. And so in here is exactly like the first book I showed you. Notes, so let's see, what's a good one? I'll write down what the project is, and in here I'll put the pattern, the yarn, the needles or hooks, depending if it's a knit or crochet project. And then down here I'll write down any notes that I need to remember. And over here I write down how long it takes me to make it. That is how I keep notes for my crochet projects. What is your favorite project that you've made for someone else? Made a few projects for a few people and I really like all of them, but I think one of my favorite ones is the tapestry of a logo for Danny from DIY in Progress. I made it last fall and I actually got to visit her and give it to her in person. I do have a whole video about that, but it was such a fun project because it wasn't something that I normally typically would do. It was a giant canvas basically of her logo, and she wanted me to put lights in it because if you watched her videos then you know how much she loves lamps.
I love lamp.
Wanted to include something with lights, and I ended up finding this type of like neon string that I put in there. It took me a little while to kind of figure it out, but I did get it in there. It looks so cool lit up, and I've never done anything with lighting or anything like that before, so I thought it was a really fun project. Wondering if you have plans to crochet a sweater in DK weight yarn this year. This sweater here was done in a DK weight yarn. This was done in my favorite DK weight acrylic yarn, the Hayfield Bonus DK. It looks like houndstooth. This is a Tunisian crochet project and it is called Meet Me at the Ice Cream Shop Top by Just the Worsted. This is actually supposed to be a t-shirt and I just decided to make it a sweater by just adding length onto the sleeve. It's kind of heavy, so I don't think I would ever use this yarn to make a t-shirt for myself because I was honestly thinking about it the other day. I'm like, should I just do that? Good thing I didn't because this is very dense. It could just be the stitch, but it is really warm. This is DK weight acrylic, so yeah. Where did you get your yarn holder slash spinner from? I love them and have been thinking of getting one. These are my yarn spinners. I got these from Bubbleland Studio, right down there. Very easy to put together, and I'm pretty sure they are plant-based, so less plastic in the world. Very simple to install. Let me install this one for you. They have these little grips on the bottom. And then it spins. I do have to say, when you do use these, it is good to have them on a flat surface and level with what you're crocheting. I have this table here, which is right next to where I crochet, sit there. So like I'll have it here, and when I'm sitting there, it's kind of level with my hands of what I'm crocheting. And so when the yarn's on here and I'm spinning it, it doesn't snag, it doesn't get caught. But before I'd put it on my bed, which was lower than me, the yarn would always get caught and it wouldn't flow nicely. But as soon as I realized that you just need to have it level with what you're crocheting, I've had no problems with it. I feel like that would be the case for any yarn spinner. For me personally, it's just nice to have it level. What would your ultimate 80s/90s living room look like? I'll put some photos here of what I want it to look like. Now, I know that I say I love the 80s and I love the style of the 80s and everything like that, but people are like, oh, well, you're talking about the 70s. How I see it is someone remodeled their house in the 70s and didn't remodel it in the 80s, so you still have the same wood paneling, you still have the shag carpet, but like maybe the stuff inside the house, like the coffee table, art, the TV, stuff like that is from the 80s. You know what I mean? And I feel like that stems from my house as a child. My ideal house is like a 70s, 80s mashup, you know? Did your particular vintage aesthetic come from something in your childhood? When my parents bought the house, it was recently renovated, so they bought it in the 80s. I was born in 89, so basically the house was filled with wood paneling and orange carpet. As a baby, I think my bassinet was probably in my parents' room, which was covered in wood paneling. I don't remember being a baby, but I guess I was surrounded by wood paneling for all of my formative years, so that might have something to do with it. Can you show us your Northern Reflections collection? And what is your favorite bird/loon/duck/goose item you own? I think it's this. Him, the little mallard with his little feet. I think he is adorable. And again, my sister did make this for my birthday and she crocheted it. I don't know what pattern she used, but she crocheted this for me. I own a lot of striped tops from Northern Reflections. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. This red sweater, orange loon sweater. This is more modern. This was, I think I bought this like 2 years ago, so this is newer. The purple version, I have the gray version, this sweater here with a little lighthouse, and my prized possession, this pink sweater with the loons and the baby loons on it. Classic Northern Reflections. I also have a bunch of Northern Reflections jackets, and I know I have more Northern Reflections sweaters. Unfortunately, they are in my storage unit. I also did get a question about my storage unit, and I was gonna go there today and bring some totes, and you know what? I completely forgot, so I'm sorry. I did want to show you the storage unit in this video, but forgot. I will be including that in my Monday vlog. So this weekend, I will be going to my storage unit to bring some more sweaters and stuff that I know I'm not gonna wear for this season, and maybe look for some more summer clothes, because I know I have more summer clothes in there. And then I can show you the storage unit in that vlog. Unfortunately, I just don't have time to go out again today to show you all the storage unit, but just wait for the Monday vlog and you'll see it then. So I did get this question a lot, so I thought I would just answer it now, even though it is not a show and tell. What do you do for work? Are you graduated in anything? I work retail, and I only work every other week, and I only do morning shifts. I don't want to give away where I work because that's still private until I'm done. Once I'm done where I work, I will let y'all know. I just really love the people that I work with, and I like the job, and I'm not ready to leave yet. I have to say, basically, I do like 80% YouTube, 20% retail. Basically, my job is YouTube. The second part of the question was, did I graduate in anything? I graduated from college in 2012. I went to Niagara College in Welland for broadcasting, radio, television, and film. I hated radio with a passion. Didn't like it. I didn't really care for the teacher either. And then I did TV and film. I majored in film. Kind of glad I did, but to be honest, it was kind of boring. I feel like they didn't really prepare us, you know, especially what I wanted to do. I wanted to do art department. I wanted to do writing. There was like one writing course. I really enjoyed the writing course. It did teach you how to do script writing, and I still have a passion for script writing. I would love to write a TV show or a movie. Like, that is something that I actually really want to do. Like, that was like my main dream to do, and I know I could still do it. I know I could still write for TV shows and stuff like that, but it's like, you got to meet the right people in order to do that. Movie scripts that I've written, TV shows, like a pilot season of a TV show that I have written, that I would love to get made one day. Maybe my YouTube will make me the money and then I can produce my own stuff, right? That is something that I really still have a passion for. It's just, I also really like crocheting, and that's where it went. I also don't like living in Toronto, and I don't like busy cities. It's not too bad when you can take the train there and you don't have to worry about parking. I hate worrying about parking. Yeah, anyways, I did go to school for film, hence why I do YouTube now, because I'm like, well, they won't give me a job anywhere else. I guess I gotta do it myself. You mentioned in one of your videos, School Spirits, and I started watching it because of you, but I hear no one talking about it. Any thoughts on the show, and if you would crochet anything School Spirits themed? It's my new hyperfixation. I love School Spirits, okay? Like, when I say I love this show, Stranger Things is like up here. School Spirits is like right here. It's like right below Stranger Things, okay? If Stranger Things didn't exist, School Spirits would be my favorite TV show. That is how much I love it. They also got renewed for another season. After season 3 ended, I'm like, there better be a season 4. And they got renewed for a season 4. Thank goodness. I think my favorite characters from School Spirits has to be Charlie and Wally. Like, they are my favorite. Would I crochet something for it? I never even thought about that. I crochet so many things for Stranger Things, and I didn't even think about crocheting anything for School Spirits. I don't know what I would do. I would love to maybe do like a tote bag with like School Spirits, like the logo on there. So maybe something like that. But if you haven't watched that show, it's such a good show. Do you still have a favorite toy from childhood? I actually have all of my childhood stuffed animals. Not so much my toys anymore. I don't know what happened to them. This is a little cat. My Oma gave her to me. I think this was like the first cat that I ever got. Like, I have been obsessed with cats forever. Okay, and I didn't get a cat until I was like 12 years old. I remember in grade 1, the teacher told us to bring a stuffed animal into class that day, and I have to say like 90% of the class brought a teddy bear. I bred this cat. And I just remember her doing some type of like math equation where it's like, okay, let's see the ratio of like who brought what. And it was literally the whole entire class brought a teddy bear. I brought a cat, and I think some kid brought something else. And I was just like alone with my cat, and I'm just like, wow, this doesn't feel good. I'm all by myself. Anyways, this is from my childhood. You've mentioned your emo phase a couple of times, and I've always been curious. Could you share some pictures, maybe from all the phases or aesthetics you've been through? I think I can do that. So first off, I do want to say that I didn't take a lot of photos of myself in high school. I mean, there was cameras, but it wasn't like nowadays. I took a lot of like nature photos. This is a photo of me in my second year of college, so this would have been 2010. This was also taken in my second year of college, but second term, so this would have been 2011. And this is when I went through my robot phase. Actually, I built this for a music video that we were working on, and then I actually played the robot. I really like doing these things where people can't really see my face. But yeah, I made this out of cardboard and foil and a lot of silver spray paint. I believe this was probably 2013. And then I cut my hair super, super short. This would have been at the end of 2013. I don't know where all my photos are from this era, but this is when I was getting into my 80s. So this is one of those sweaters that I thrifted. And then I had a phase where I dyed my hair peach. I really liked it. And then this was 2016, the summer of that. And I kind of went through this phase where I wore a lot of hats. Don't really wear hats a lot. And then I wore these sunglasses at a Comic-Con. Then I bumped into Henry Winkler and he said they were cool. And then shortly after they broke, and I have been devastated ever since. Then I went through this phase where I constantly wore dresses and cute shoes and dressed cute. This era, which I feel like was 1960, 1950-ish, like the aesthetic. Also, believe it or not, the room that I took this photo in is the same room that I film all my videos in now. Yeah. And then this was also that same aesthetic, maybe a year apart. And then of course, this is me now. I dress either like a teen from the 80s or an old grandpa. And that's what my style is now. Is the miniature couch and blanket the only mini you've made so far? Will there be more? This is the only miniature thing that I've ever made. I made a little blanket and I made this little couch, which there's still glue on it. I think I made these in like 2024. It even has like the little sofa cushions and then the back and then these little guys. I got kind of into miniatures and then I quickly kind of fell out of miniatures because I was obsessed with the show Best in Miniature, which was on CBC Gem, and I watched like all the seasons and I'm just like, I can do miniatures, and technically I can. I just not the biggest fan of doing them. It's really the only things that I've made. I'd love to make some more. And what's really funny is I actually did buy something. I went thrifting yesterday. I know, I never go thrifting anymore because I like estate sales. I did find this at Value Village and it was $3. It is needlework miniatures, needlepoint, cross stitch, knit, and crochet for miniatures. Maybe I will get back into miniatures because I have this really cool book now. You can make little bath mats for the bathroom. Also, there's a cat. What year is this? 1997. That cat is long gone.
Copyright 1968. Determined or not, that cat must be long dead.
But he's such a cute cat. Look at him. Now I'm really sad because the cat is gone. Unless this cat is almost 50 years old. I don't think he is. Oh my goodness, there's wallpaper. I think this is wallpaper for a house. It's like how to make curtains, blankets, rugs, a Christmas tree. I saw it yesterday and I'm just like, I should buy this. So maybe that could be a series of me crocheting little miniature things for the miniature house that maybe I'll eventually get back into. But yeah, so far, this is the only miniature thing I made, and I made it 2 years ago. I want to see the miniature house, maybe to encourage a new addition. I literally did the outside of the mini house, and then I never touched it again. And honestly, I just don't know if I really want to do anything with it again. I don't know, maybe because I ended up getting that book, make the whole house crochet, and only make crochet items. Just one video of me crocheting miniature things for the house. That could be a good idea. Love to see your Stranger Things merch collection. Shrine to Stranger Things up here. These are actually my headphones. I just don't want to lose them. They are wireless. I love them. These little figurines down here. And then I have 11 there. I have some trading cards, a birthday card. This little guy lights up. My Stranger Things Polly Pocket. Stranger Things flashlight, because of course. Then we have some Stranger Things candles, some pops back there, a little dart there. And then these here are, they look like VHSs, but they are DVDs of season 1 and season 2. I got these last year. They are Stranger Things DVDs for season 1 and season 2, and they look like they are VHSs. I got these off of Facebook Marketplace. Somebody was selling both of them, and I'm like, take my money. I think these were originally a Target exclusive. Again, Target does not exist in Canada, so I'm really lucky that I got these. From season 5, this tote bag. I love this tote bag. It currently has a project in it. This is my project tote bag for crocheting now. One of them, I have a bunch of them. And then it has the little chicken. I thought this chicken was gonna be more of a thing in season 5. And it wasn't, so I don't know why they kept promoting it. Also, this here, a lovely viewer of mine sent that to me for my birthday, and I think it is amazing. I absolutely love it. It says, has it ever occurred to you that we don't want to be popular? Thank you again for sending this to me. I absolutely adore it. So something that is, you know, somewhat season 4, somewhat season 5, but I think mostly season 4 is about the Lego Creole house. And I haven't built it yet because I don't know where I want to put it. I feel like it is safer if it stays in the box. Bought this the night that Stranger Things ended because the last episode of Stranger Things was on December the 31st, and then January the 1st, this went on sale. So basically on New Year's Eve, I spent crying and waiting patiently online for Lego to release this, and then I bought it. I do want to justify why I bought this. The original one, I'm gonna put this down because it's really heavy. The original one, the one that I do have, that I had to buy a knockoff, that was 35 bucks. I didn't know it existed when it came out because I'm not the biggest Lego person. I love Lego, but it's just, where am I gonna put Lego pieces that I make, right? So the original one, when it came out, I didn't know it came out, and then when I found out that it was out, obviously it was discontinued and everybody was selling it for a lot of money. I remember first seeing it and people were trying to sell it for $200. Knowing now how much this goes for, $200 would have been a steal. But I didn't want to spend $200 on a Lego set that may or may not have all the pieces. Somebody on Facebook Marketplace was selling a knockoff version. I do have 2 videos of me making it. They didn't really do well, so I didn't really continue it because, again, I'd rather spend my time crocheting and doing something that I really like rather than something that, you know, may or may not get views. I did end up buying that one and I absolutely loved it. So when I heard that this was coming out, I paid the money for it, okay? I will build this eventually when I have some space to build it. I'm also afraid if I have it in here, the cats will knock it down and then it will explode into 1,000 pieces, and I don't want that to happen either. Wondering what's the most expensive thing I've ever bought that was Stranger Things related? This Lego set. This here is the knockoff version of the Stranger Things Lego. But I mean, like, look at them all. They all look so good. And then obviously Hopper's car, and there's a pumpkin inside. This side here, we have Joyce in the house and then Will in the upside down house. The detail in here is amazing. I do want to put this in a better spot. Also, like, the car does that. Awesome. That is a Chevy Blazer, by the way. It's the only Chevy Blazer that I'm going to get my hands on anytime soon. I'd like a tour of your Stranger Things clothing items and maybe where you got them. That is my Stranger Things shirt collection. I don't think I'm going to go through all of them. I think I might go through my favorite. So those are my Stranger Things tees. Those are like band tees. Those are like random tees. Those are like tees with cars on them, and that's just also random. And then I also have some Stranger Things sweaters down here. T-shirts. I recently got this one, and I did get this at Hot Topic. Hot Topic is pretty much where I get all my Stranger Things merch from. Looks like one of those like old band tees, except it is Eddie and it says Hellfire Club on the top. And then on the back is all of the episodes of season 4, but it is upside down, like the upside down. So I got this one here and I bought it off of Poshmark. Then I have this one here. This is from the newest season of Stranger Things. Robin wears this. When I saw her wearing it, I'm like, yeah, I need to buy this. And I got this off of the Netflix shop. And then of course I have this here, which is the Squawk sweater. I have to say, like, season 5 maybe isn't my favorite, but they came out with the best merchandise for season 5, okay? I have it in a blue, and then I have it in another size that I got also from Hot Topic, but this one is from the Netflix shop. I bought this, which I don't know was my finest moment because this cost me like a lot of money. Erica wears this in season 5. This is her jacket and it is by Wrangler. And I didn't even know it existed until I saw a TikTok. But I remember watching season 5 and I was like, hey, if I ever see Erica's jacket, I will buy it. And then I saw it and I'm like, okay. I didn't wear it though. I know the tag is still on it. And I don't know why I didn't wear it. I really don't know. I think it's because I had it up here in my closet because I love looking at it, that when I would leave for the day, I would just grab a jacket that was downstairs, and I honestly just forgot about this. And then on the back, it says Stranger Things, which I didn't notice until right now. And then the inside has all of this Stranger Things logos and random text on it. I'll try it on, but my mic will probably get muffled. And I think I didn't wear it because I don't buy new jackets. I never buy new jackets. I don't remember the last time I bought a new jacket. And it's not really sitting on me like an older worn-in jacket would, which is all I thrift. I also did get a size large, and I feel like maybe I should have gotten a size medium, but my arms, if I do this, it is kind of tight. So if I would have gotten a medium, I feel like my arms would have been way too tight, but I feel like the medium for this part would have been good. Didn't get a chance to wear it last year. Hopefully I will wear it this upcoming year. You can only pick one favorite Stranger Things item you own. I'm gonna say it is probably my Polly Pocket Stranger Things. And then like you have all the little characters and 4 walkie-talkies for the boys, and then Elle has her waffle. Right, so we have the school, and then we have the house, and then we also like, look at that in the back, like the details in the background. We have the road that they bike on, and then here we have Will's little fort. And then if we turn around, we still have the fort, and then this school pops down. There's a little cutout because the Demogorgon comes through. So that's the walkie-talkie. And then I keep the characters in this little box. Yeah, so they're in this little box here, and I'll show you where it goes. And because it's a VHS, it just goes into the little VHS part. That's probably one of my favorite things. If you could change the ending to Stranger Things 5, how would you have done it? I'm one of those people who liked it. I know. I cried. Okay, this is a spoiler alert to season 5 of Stranger Things, aka the ending of Stranger Things. So I will put a little timestamp here that you can jump to so you don't have to hear the spoilers, okay? First off, I was crying the whole time and I was so stressed out that everyone was gonna die. And then when no one died, I'm like, I'm happy. I don't care about how it ended. They all lived, and I'm good with that. And I know people are kind of mad, like, oh, there wasn't enough dramatic, there wasn't enough, like, death. Like, I don't want death, okay? Have you ever watched an 80s movie? The good guys always win. And sure, there are a few deaths along the way, but for the most part, the bad guy dies, and the good guys win. Okay? That is a standard 80s movie. And I know it's not all 80s movies, but for the majority, 80s movies usually had a nice, happy ending. Okay? I don't know what's wrong with today's movies. I am so glad everyone lived. Okay, there was a few people that died because I was stressing out the entire time. Like, what if Steve died? I would have been a mess. If Joyce would have gone, if anyone would have gone, I would have been distraught. I'm also one of those people who believe that Elle lived. Now, I know it got wrapped up in a nice, neat little package.
Then everything is wrapped up in a neat little package. Really, I mean that.
But I liked it. Now, here's the thing. I haven't rewatched the whole thing. I started rewatching it and then I got distracted by other TV shows. But all I remember is that the beginning of the season, like what was the first 4, 5, 6 episodes, everybody was in love with it. Okay, everyone had all the memes going on. Everyone loved it. And then suddenly the last 3 episodes, people are hating on it. Now, there are some things that I'm just like, okay, why did that happen? But you know, everyone lived and I can live with that. I will say the one thing that kind of bothered me would be, I feel like they did rush Vecna's death a little bit, but also, was Vecna controlled by the Mind Flayer this whole time? Because I thought it was the opposite, and then suddenly they switched it. And then, like, what happened to all the Demogorgons? Weren't they supposed to be living on this weird planet, and none of them were there when they all showed up to kill this thing? They could have added something there. And the only other thing that I am going to say that I was slightly disappointed to was the soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. There was some good songs in that season, but there could have been more. I was very kind of disappointed with the lack of good 80s songs, okay? Because the other seasons had really great ones. I think that season 4 was such a phenomenal season, such a good season, that I don't think season 5 ever stood a chance at competing with season 4. Season 4 was just so good. It's not my favorite season. Season 1 and season 2 are my favorite seasons. Okay, but season 4 was so well written. I loved all the characters. Eddie was great. Like, there was so much going on in season 4 that I feel like they couldn't just wrap everything up in season 5. I think they should have had a season 6.
6 seasons and a movie!
While we're on this topic, this is how I thought the series was going to end. Everyone died except for 11. And then 11 figured out some type of time travel. And then she goes back to the night that Will went missing. November the 6th, 1983. And she stops that from happening, and Will goes back into his house, and he lives a normal life, and everybody lives a normal life. The only thing is that 11 and the whole thing never happened. Do I like that ending? No, I do not, and I'm glad that didn't happen. I thought that's how the series was going to end, was they're playing in the basement, Will goes home, no Demogorgon or whatever, Vecna, to get Will, and then Will goes in the house, and Will doesn't go missing. Life just continues as normal. Honestly, what I thought was going to happen. Would I have thought that would have been a better ending than what they did? Maybe. That's my thoughts. Okay, I think I ranted enough about Stranger Things. I need to know what that bust is in the background. It looks like a Resident Evil character, but I'm unsure. Is it 3D printed? Well, I just went on a rant about Stranger Things, It's Vecna from Stranger Things. I still haven't taken the tag off. And I got it for $7 at Value Village. And I'm pretty sure this is 3D printed. It's Vecna from Stranger Things. I feel like Whispers just showed up one day in your videos. How many cats do you have and how old are they? Whispers, he was a stray and he just showed up on the porch one day and I'm like, that cat is adorable and I want them. Because at the time, I thought he was a girl. He came around in 2014, but he was an outdoor cat because I don't know where he came from. And he is the sweetest, most loving, most fluffiest cat ever. And I don't know who would abandon this precious little boy. I have some choice words for them. Because of where I live, he could have just been a farm cat and then just wandered away from the farm and then wandered into our house. He showed up one day and he was very skinny, but he had these beautiful green eyes and he looked very feminine. I thought he was a girl and that is why I called him Auntie Whispers after this character from Over the Garden Wall. You know, he kind of stuck around and he was very affectionate and he loves to yell. Obviously, he was not a little girl because he was a boy because I caught him spraying one day. So he was not neutered. And I'm like, okay, time to get you neutered. He didn't start showing that until like a year after we got him because he was like, I think a year old when he came to our house, right? I got him neutered. He wasn't chipped. He wasn't anything. So I got him chipped. I paid for his neutering and he's an indoor cat now. But yeah, he just kind of showed up one day and he didn't want to leave. So that's how he came. Same thing with Totoro. She just randomly showed up one day. She's an indoor cat now. And then the one cat, Pippin, we adopted her. And it was so funny because when we adopted her, she was the cutest little cat in the adoption center. She's like, look at me, please adopt me, love me. And we're like, okay. Second we bring her home, she runs and hides and she's a little menace. Adorable, but she is a menace. Can you do a small camper tour? This here is the bedroom area. I did get rid of the bed. It is still a little messy, I know. I ended up cleaning up the other room and then putting stuff in here. And then a lot of this stuff I have to put in my storage unit. In here is the bathroom, aka my yarn storage. I don't have running water. I don't use the bathroom. I don't use the shower. Nothing is functional in here. It is just yarn storage. So that's my yarn storage. This here is the living room area, and this is where I film. And behind me is this little shelf that actually I store stuff in. And then over here is my kitchen. I know, I'm a disaster right now. Just that's there. My camper always gets like this after the winter because I throw everything in here that I don't need and then it's too cold to clean. And now it is time to clean. So this week I will be cleaning my camper. What tape is in the reel to reel? Does it work? What slides are in the Viewmaster? So I think you're talking about this guy here. It's very heavy, so I can't just pick it up with one hand. There is no tape inside, and I don't know if it works. I got that at an estate sale because I thought it looked cool. But there's no actual tape inside there. It's just empty. And then the Viewmaster, which I literally got from an estate sale about 2 weeks ago. 1985, My Little Pony. Now that you've been in the camper for a while, if you were to go back and redecorate / reorganize and redesign your camper, would you do anything different, like techniques or materials? I don't think I would have done anything different because I don't have a big budget to do this. If I ever had the money to do it, or if I find them, I would love to redo all the walls in real wood paneling. Right now, it is faux contact paper that I got from the Dollarama, which they've discontinued. I no longer can buy it there. I would like to do that because in certain areas, it's kind of falling off a little bit. Sometimes I do regret taking the bed out of here, but at the time, I really wanted to use that as a filming space, and I hadn't redecorated out here yet, now that I do all my filming in this living room area. There's not really too much that I can do in this space. Like I can't really demo anything. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't. I would like to redo the back room again. I mentioned this in one of my vlogs, but I haven't found the right chair yet. I'm kind of waiting for the perfect chair to put in there because now that I do my Monday vlogs, I kind of want to have a space for my Monday vlogs versus like my Saturday videos, just like two spaces to break it up, you know? So that way when I'm editing, I'm not just looking at this couch the entire time because that's all I've been looking at lately. Why/how do you have a cool vintage camper in your backyard to keep your yarn in and do fun stuff? I have a playlist that is my camper playlist, and I was gonna say I thrifted this camper. I bought this camper for I believe it was like $4,000, which is very expensive, but I did save up my money to do this. And then that was all my savings, and then all my savings went away. It is a 1997 Glendale camper, very 90s, and although I love the 90s, aesthetically, I like the 80s and 70s more, so I ended up kind of remodeling it as I went. Luckily, there is a lot of like wood cabinetry in here, which I'm so glad that it has. Every once in a while, I'll go on Facebook Marketplace. What's going on? I'll see someone with like a camper similar to mine just to see what it looks like. And they've like gutted and renoed the whole camper so it looks modern, but they didn't do it in a good way, so it doesn't look great. Not that modern looks great, sorry. I'm just not a big fan of modern things. I got really lucky that all the cabinetry is still wood and still in here. And I basically bought this for a place to store my yarn, but I needed my own filming studio. I used to kind of film in my room. I just had no room for anything. I had to have all my yarn in there. I had to have all of my clothes in there because nowadays I will keep my some of my seasonal stuff in here and some of it in my storage unit. But I bought it for a filming studio because it's a lot cheaper than building a filming studio. Because I've seen some creators build their own filming studio. That probably costs more than $4,000 because guess what I didn't have to do in here? I didn't have to put electric in here. I didn't have to put a heater in here. I didn't have to install AC in here. It was a lot cheaper to get a camper than to build something. Also, to build something this size would have definitely cost more than the camper itself. And that is all the questions that I'm going to answer. There was way more, and I wish I could have gotten to all of them, but I feel like some of the questions I kind of answered in other questions, so hopefully I answered y'all's questions. Again, this was more of a show and tell, so I wanted to show more things than just sit here and answer questions. I did answer some of the questions that I got a lot of, just to make y'all happy, but again, it was more show and tell. So maybe one day I will do another Q&A where it's just questions and answers, but I think this format is just a little bit more fun. Now is usually the time when I ask y'all to leave comments in the comment section. I really don't know what to ask y'all to leave for comments because I've answered all your comments. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.